With Ilia Topuria now set to face Justin Gaethje at the start of next year, and Spanish outlet ABC confirming the matchup, the lightweight scene is starting to make sense. All signs point to Arman Tsarukyan squaring off with Paddy Pimblett next, as both fighters want to compete before the year ends, setting up what would be a legitimate title eliminator. On top of that, some fascinating details have surfaced about Arman's role in Khamzat Chimaev's camp for the Duplessis fight. Tsarukyan was the one who watched and studied DDP's footage and taught Khamzat's sparring partners how to mimic DDP's awkward striking style. He even oversaw sparring sessions to keep things under control, given how intense they can get in Chimaev's gym. Arman was fully invested in helping Khamzat capture the belt, but even with all that going on, Tsarukyan's still finding himself the subject of criticism. Fellow lightweight Renato Moicano recently went on a long philosophical rant about him, trashing him for over a minute straight. Moicano believes Topuria would destroy Arman if they ever get into the cage, and explains his own personal dislike of Tsarukyan. Let's dive in.
Arman Tsarukyan, eu não acho ele bom do jeito que a galera fala. Eu acho que o Topuria ia fuder ele. Não é um cara que eu seria amigo, entendeu? Não é um cara que eu seria amigo. Porque, eu não sei, eu acho ele arrogante, entendeu? Eu acho ele arrogante. Eu não gosto de pessoas que se acham melhores do que as outras, entendeu? Porque você pode ser melhor do que outra pessoa, certamente.
Não pode deixar evidenciado isso, né?
Não, você pode ser em algum aspecto, entendeu? Não é porque você é um melhor lutador do que o outro lutador que você é melhor que ele moralmente, entendeu? O que é a moral? A gente vai ter que debater o que é moral. Moral é você fazer o que é certo quando não tem ninguém olhando. E eu não acho que o cara é moral quando ele trata outra pessoa de maneira... Trata outra pessoa como menos. Não é porque você é um campeão, você é bom, você tem dinheiro, que você é melhor do que os outros. Você pode ser melhor na questão financeira, você pode ser mais inteligente, mas, brother, pra Deus, a gente vai ver quem tava certo depois, brother.
Big John McCarthy and Josh Thomson just broke down one of the most talked about matchups in MMA right now, Leon Edwards versus Ian Garry. While the UFC has not made this fight official just yet, the MMA community strongly believes this clash will take place at Madison Square Garden this November. From a matchmaking perspective, some argue Ian Garry should have been paired with Sean Brady in a true title eliminator, but that fight never materialized. Brady himself revealed Garry turned him down, openly accusing him of ducking the matchup. Instead, Garry has now found himself lined up with Edwards, which on paper is a massive fight in terms of name value and spotlight. Both are UK stars, both have large fan followings, and the buildup will undoubtedly be huge. When it comes to how the fight will unfold, Big John expects a high-level, entertaining battle, a clash where two sharp technicians showcase their striking IQ and precision. Josh Thomson disagrees, predicting a slow-paced affair, calling it a snooze fest, since both fighters lean heavily on kickboxing, point fighting, and tight defense. With both men being super technical on the feet, Thomson doesn't see any fireworks or highlight reel endings.
This is a great matchup. Leon is great on his feet. Ian Garry is very elusive, very good on his feet. I would say that, Garry is, the more apt to try to take the fight to the ground if he thinks it's beneficial for him. I think it's gonna be very difficult for him to get Leon to the ground. He doesn't have the prototypical wrestling takedowns. He's more of a grown man learning wrestling, and his jiu-jitsu is what he uses to get the fight to the ground. But can Leon pull himself out of the proverbial dumper that he's been in, as far as losing how many fights in a row now, and get himself back on the winning track?
All right, I'm going to be very controversial in this fight. I love the name value on this fight, but I think it has a chance to be in a fucking total snooze fest. These two guys are going to basically stick and move. Ian Garry's going to be on the outside trying to just punch and run.
The MMA world lit up when Khamzat Chimaev publicly called out Islam Makhachev for the first time, making a massive super fight between Khamzat and Team Khabib a real possibility, something most fans hadn't even imagined. Islam's response was calm and measured, saying he'd be open to the fight down the line, but didn't want to stir tension between their people due to shared culture and religion. That cool approach didn't sit well with the MMA community, who saw it as cautious, maybe even scared, especially after Chimaev directly challenged him for the pound-for-pound #1 spot. Naturally, the internet blew up with debate, criticizing Islam's cautious approach and comparing him to Magomed Ankalaev, the fellow Dagestani champ, who openly welcomes Chimaev into his division with confidence, a boldness fans haven't seen from Islam. The newly crowned middleweight champ didn't hold back, firing back at Team Khabib, saying there's nothing wrong with calling out fights because it's all about sport and competition. He reminded everyone that Khabib stepped into the cage to compete, not to hurt or destroy anyone's life, pointing out that he even fought fellow Muslims despite sharing the same faith. Fans are buzzing more than ever about what could become one of the most explosive matchups the UFC has ever seen.
Хорошо, если дело касается в религии, Хабиб тоже дрался со своими земляками. Тогда что, религия позволяла или не позволяла, не понимаю. Это спорт, это не убийство. Я не собираюсь кого-то убивать. Я не думаю, Хабиб, что собрался кого-то убивать в своем спорте.
In a recent appearance on the MMA Lab, Sean O'Malley made a big admission, saying he got lost for a while, trying to imitate Conor McGregor instead of being himself, and that mindset played a huge role in why his career stalled. He also revealed that he made his first fight with Merab personal, even though he didn't actually dislike him, and looking back, it didn't do him any favors. Right now, Suga's in a rough spot, 2 losses to the champ, and Merab isn't going anywhere anytime soon. He knows he still needs a big win or two to get back into the title picture at 135. Suga has already confirmed he will eventually move up to featherweight as his career progresses. O'Malley also emphasized that he's learning from his past mistakes and trying to focus on fighting smarter, not just chasing flashy finishes. For now, all his focus is locked on the outcome of Merab versus Corey, because if Corey wins, that opens the door to the fans' dream fight, Suga versus Corey, a matchup that fans have been waiting on for years. He knows that every move from here on out will count, and a strong performance against the right opponent could redefine his career.
Did you use him as a role model at all?
100%. Like, the way he carried himself into fights, the confidence, his confidence to say what he thought was gonna I'm gonna knock this dude out round 2. I'm gonna do it. Like, I got a lot out of that, and I was like, okay, I can be confident like that. And I feel like I got lost almost in a sense where I wanted to be like Conor too much instead of being like myself. I would say like the first Merab fight, I almost like, it was my second title defense, and I was like, I want this to be big. I didn't feel like it was big. I didn't feel like Merab was a big name. I felt like I had to force it. It was at the Sphere. Like, I felt like I had to like create something, and I didn't like how that made me feel. In a sense, I'm like, because I didn't hate Merab. I would have loved to knock him out. I would love anybody if I want to knock out without it being personal.
Yeah.
But I felt like I made that one too personal, and I didn't like that. Merab one, I kind of felt like I forced a little bit.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.